Andrea from the team at We Love Baking. Today I'm going to share with you how I make my triple chocolate and raspberry cookies. These are gorgeous, chewy, chocolatey cookies with pops of raspberry and ruby chocolate in them. Let's get baking. So to start with, I'm going to put my butter in my mixing bowl. I'm going to give that a quick mix together just to soften the butter so that the sugars mix really easily in with it. And once your butter is soft, it doesn't have to be fluffy, we just want to soften it so it's easy to mix the sugars in. I'm going to add both my sugars. So here's my Tate & Lyle caster sugar and some Tate & Lyle soft brown sugar. We're going to add in our vanilla. So once that's mixed in and are really well combined, it's time for our dry ingredients. So into my bowl, I'm going to put all my dry ingredients, starting with my plain flour, corn flour. Now, corn flour I put in cookies because I find it keeps them really soft and moist. Really good secret ingredient. To that, I'm also going to add some bicarbonate of soda and some baking powder, some salt, and the last of my dry ingredients, cocoa powder. So I'm going to mix all these ingredients together until it all looks like damp chocolatey sand. And that is what we're looking for. That is perfect. Just to show you, if I can get my spatula out, this is what you are looking for your damp sand. So it should still look like dry ingredients, but it'll have a kind of stickiness to it, if you want to call it that. And that is absolutely perfect. So the next thing I'm going to do is add my egg. So into one of the bowls that I had, I'm going to crack my egg first and give it a little mix together. And that is now going to get added to my mixture. And we're going to mix all that together. So that took me all of about 30 seconds of mixing, and you want your mixture to have started clumping together. You can see how it's starting to form lovely chocolatey chunky clumps. That's perfect. Right, so into this bowl I am going to add my final few ingredients, which are my white chocolate chips, my ruby chocolate chips. Now, if you've never had ruby chocolate before, it's a really unique chocolate. It tastes a bit like white chocolate with some berries and that beautiful tart sourness of it. Absolutely gorgeous. So in goes my ruby chocolate chips. And for my raspberries, I'm actually going to use freeze-dried raspberries rather than fresh. Now, I actually like freeze-dried more because the fresh raspberries I find tend to release quite a lot of liquid, and it can affect your cookies, how they bake, and the moisture content of them, and it can make them go soggy. So this is a brilliant way of getting your raspberry flavour in without compromising on the texture of your cookies. So now I've got all my chips and my freeze-dried raspberries in. We're going to give it a quick mix. I'm just going to use a spatula for this because I don't want to make my cookie dough clump together into really large chunks. So I've ditched my hand mixer and I'm just doing it very, very gently, folding it all the way through so that it's all evenly mixed up. So once everything has been completely mixed together, it's time to get them into cookies. Now, you can use a couple of tablespoons, you can use just your hands and eyeball it however you want. I actually like to use an ice cream scoop. And the reason for this is it means I can always get the same amount of cookie dough for all my cookies, which then means when they're in the oven, my cookies will bake evenly. And I'm not going to get some larger cookies that are underbaked, some smaller cookies that are overbaked. I'm going to get everything being really even and beautiful. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a scoopful of my cookie dough, pop it in my hand, and I'm just going to give it a very gentle squeeze together just to help it hold together. That's all. So my ice cream scoop was helping me portion my cookie dough, and that's just helping to hold it all together. You can see it's not been perfectly squeezed together. There are still little gaps of air, and that's exactly what I want. Onto my cookie sheet they go. And I'm going to do that with the rest of my cookie dough. If you haven't got a scoop, an ice cream scoop like I have, you can always weigh your ingredients out or use any other similar size measure just so you get the same amount of dough in each of your cookies. So as you measure your cookie doughs out, mine weigh, if you want to go with weight, about 50 grams. Make sure when you put them on your tray that you space them out evenly because the cookies will spread as they bake and you don't want them to merge into one another. You want separate cookies. And once you have measured out all your cookie dough, it's time to pop them in the oven. My oven is ready for them at 180 Celsius, that's 350 Fahrenheit, and they are going to bake for about 10 minutes. Right, so once your cookies come out of the oven, be careful, they will be hot. What we're going to do, here's my top tip, To get perfectly round cookies, we are going to take something round, a mug, a cup, if you don't have a cookie cutter like I do. We're going to put them over the cookie, encompass the whole cookie inside it, and just swirl it round. And what that's going to do is it's just going to reshape the cookies that have got misshapen in the oven back into that lovely round shape. But you have to do this fairly quickly when they've come out of the oven, because otherwise they will set in the shape that they've come out. Once you have done that, for the next step of these cookies, I have some spare chocolate chips, my ruby chocolate chips and my white chocolate. And all I'm going to do is over the top of my cookies, I'm going to place a couple of each of them. And what's going to happen with that, because of the heat of the cookies, they're going to melt and become a part of the cookie. But what it's going to make a difference for, if I turn this one around to show you, when the chocolate chips, especially the ruby chocolate chips and white chocolate, when they bake in the oven, they go a bit brown on the outside. So if you look at some of these cookies here, you'll see as they have baked, they have gone a bit of a murky, pinky, not very nice colour. So putting these on top just means the warmth of it's going to melt them, and we're going to get a lovely finished effect of clean pink. So that very quickly goes over the top. You can put 2 or 3, be more generous if you want, and just lay them over the top, and then leave your cookies to cool on here for at least 10 minutes before you transfer them to a wire rack to cool completely. And there you have it, my triple chocolate and raspberry cookies. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the We Love Baking channel, and hope you will get baking with these. Let us know below in the comments if you do. Thanks for joining us today. See you next time. Happy baking.